Hey there, are you interested in some industrial design book recommendations? Well, in this video, I'm going to be giving you 7 different books that I would recommend to anyone who's interested in either industrial design or product design. So stick around. Also, I'd love to hear what are your favorite design books. Put them down below in the comments. So the first book is called Thinking Objects, Contemporary Approaches to Product Design. And this is a really good kind of textbook. Talks about a lot of different areas in product design and industrial design, and much more readable and approachable and interesting than the textbook that I had in my school. If you're kind of really looking for sort of an overall book that will give you a lot of different information about industrial design, I would recommend this one. Number 2, The Making of Design, From First Model to Final Product. When I was a student, my favorite type of book were the process books, because I was always kind of fascinated with the process of how you get from sketch, render, CAD model to like real product. What is that process? I wanted to know how people did that. There's a lot of those kind of process books, but this is definitely by far the best. There's just so many pictures and interviews, and it's just a really great book. I'm not sure if it's still in print. If it's not, I would highly recommend going to Abe Books, which is kind of like a hub for independent used bookstores around the world, and you can search the title and get it sent to you. Number 3 is this book, which is Design for the Real World by Gerrit Papanek, and it's a classic. It's a really good book to read to remember that design really is a basic human activity and, not an aesthetic exercise. Number 4 is this book, which is Design, Creativity and Culture, An Orientation to Design. It's by Maurice, Barnwell. And its scope is like very wide and it's kind of like a mashup of design, sort of past, present, future in the context of like human activity and culture, and it's an interesting read. So number 4 is this book, which is Manufacturing Processes for Design Professionals by Thompson, and it's, as you can see, it's like quite thick, but it's really like a Bible for manufacturing processes. I think if there's like only one book that you buy about manufacturing processes, I would choose this one. Number 6 is this book, which is called How to See, and it's by George Nelson. And it's another kind of classic book talking about visual literacy in the world. So number 7 is this book, which is called The Good Life, and it's Helen and Scott Nearing's 60 Years of Self-Sufficient Living. And I realize it's not the most obvious choice, but I chose it for 2 reasons. Just to give you a bit of a backstory, Scott and Helen Nearing were called the great-grandparents of the Back to Land movement, and they really were city dwellers who moved to the country and taught themselves how to build their own stone houses, how to live off the land in terms of gardening, and they tried to live without money, so they traded things. And I chose this book for 2 reasons. One, they really designed their life according to their principles and how they wanted to live. And it's a nice reminder that, what we study in design is not just, to make goods. It's not just to make things in the world. We can actually use these processes to live our lives according to how we really want to live. The second reason why I chose this book is because I really feel like the spirit with which they live their life, in terms of like teaching themselves how to do things and just figuring shit out. And that's the spirit that you need to have as an industrial designer or someone who's going to design products. And it's not something that you necessarily have to have going into school, but it is something you should be trying to learn yourself. if you aren't naturally that way, because I wasn't naturally that way, but I learned how to do it. So that's that book. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. See you next time.